If it's trending in West Hollywood, you'll hear about it right here on WehoTV. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trending. I'm Tracy Savage, your host. And today we're going to find out more about people, events, locations, shopping, parties, and the wonderful collection of trending subjects that makes West Hollywood a city like no other. Today on Trending, whether it's with 2 feet or on 2 wheels, however you choose to get around town, West Hollywood is working to improve your mobility. And joining me today on Trending is Georgia Sheridan, a planner from West Hollywood's Long Range and Mobility Planning Division. So nice to have you here today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So the first question is, what exactly is the Long Range and Mobility Planning Division? What is it? What's its goal?
So that's a great question because people often don't know what does planning mean and what does long range mean. So the goal of the division really is to think about the long-term kind of change and evolution of the city and to really be proactive instead of reactive. And so in planning, there's been kind of a trend to link land use and transportation decisions so that when you have a new development, you're also thinking about how do people get to that development.
Right.
Do they walk? Do they drive? Do they bike? And for a long time, planning and transportation were separated. So really the goal is let's kind of bring these things together and think about how the city changes over time and so that it can be easy to get around and a great city.
It's smart forward thinking is what it is,
Yes.
instead of going, oh dear, what about? We didn't think about that.
Exactly.
Has this planning division been around for a long time?
It's actually pretty new. It was created in 2011 after the city went through a long process of community meetings for the general plan. So the general plan is really a document that sets out the vision and the goals for the city. So part of our division was saying, how do we make sure that we keep up these goals with all of the different programs and the policies that the city does?
So the idea with this division is really to make West Hollywood the best place it can be for people who walk, who ride bikes, and even people who drive. So what is going on right now? What are you doing? I understand you're trying to update the mobility plan. What is this process?
So the last time the city did a update was in 2003, and this is for the pedestrian and bicycle mobility plan. A lot has changed since 2003. People are more aware of climate change and traffic and congestion.
Gasoline has gone to nearly $5 a gallon in some places.
And there's a huge interest in public health.
Sure.
I mean, obesity and diabetes. So cities across the country are starting to look at, okay, well, how are people getting around, and how do we balance the needs of all types of users? So for a long time, we just kind of planned for drivers, and now we're thinking, walking and biking is important too. If you kind of think about your favorite cities in the world, most of the most vibrant cities are great walking cities.
Right.
So it's really to help West Hollywood be a more comfortable place for people to walk and bike.
And so why does, I mean, you kind of just answered that, but why does West Hollywood feel so strongly about this project? I assume to create a better quality of life for everyone.
Yeah, well, I think part of the strength of West Hollywood is that we have such a diverse group of businesses. We have old architecture, we have new architecture, hotels, shops, restaurants, neighborhoods.
Arts, culture.
Yeah, I mean, for a little city in terms of geographic size, we have everything that a big city has. And so part of that is, well, people need to be able to get to these places, and we want them to be accessible. So if you can walk there or bike there, then you're seeing a whole different side of the city than being kind of stuck in your car in traffic.
And it's a lot more than just putting up bike racks on every third corner. It's more planning than that.
Right. So as more bicyclists are on the road, we all have to kind of think about safety measures to accommodate them. So it's not just a bike rack, but it's teaching drivers how to drive with bikers and bikers how to bike on the road. And right now there's bicyclists that sometimes ride on bikes, and so teaching bicyclists how to also be aware of pedestrians, that we all have to kind of share the space.
Right. Well, right now you are asking for residents' input, right? Because you want to know what are some of the paths that they take and what would be ideal for them. Tell us what is mapping ideas, what that's all about.
So for this project, the city said, let's try to be as cutting edge as we can. And we know that, you know, a lot of people don't always come to community workshops. So what we've done is we've launched this project website, and we're trying to use different tools to kind of get at the people that, you know, have their cell phone with them and are always posting and tweeting their ideas. So we're saying, as long as they have their cell phone and are tweeting and blogging, why don't they blog and tweet to us? So we have a project blog, and as part of that blog, we have this interactive map where you literally drop a pin on the map, and then you click and you say, you know, this would be a great place for more bike parking, or this is my favorite street to walk, or this is my least favorite, and this is why. So it's really building this map that everyone can see and trying to start a dialogue. And it's been really cool because as people drop their pins, everyone can see what other people are saying, and we're starting to see people are commenting on other people's ideas or liking it, and it's creating a different way of kind of looking at things.
I love it. And there's also an online survey, very simple, right? If you're not necessarily with your iPhone at the time, you can go onto the survey and just answer some questions, and that gives you some pretty good information as well. Yeah,
we wanted to ask people questions, but we also, the whole goal is to make it easy for people to give their input. So the survey is very short. I hope everyone takes it. It's 10 questions about biking, 10 questions about walking, and it's really just about your experience. Where do you like to walk? Where do you not? Why? Where in the city could we make improvements? And what type of improvements do you want to see?
And is that survey found on the City of West Hollywood's website? Can it be found there, or is it a separate website?
So if you go to the city's website and go to the long range and mobility planning section, you'll see there's a web page that says that's all dedicated to this project called, I think the / is walk bike at weho.org. But then that'll link you to this new project website, which is, we've tried to make an easy name. It's www.walkbikeweho.com.
Nice. So it's not just about people giving you information, but it's also about you getting information out to the public. So you do have a blog, you have news updates, that kind of stuff. Do people subscribe and then you send them, you know, monthly information?
Yeah, you can subscribe to the blog, and so we're trying to keep it up to date with project news and tell them about community meetings, tell them about all the different stuff that's going on, but also let them know, you know, West Hollywood is part of a larger area in LA, and there are interesting events that are going on in the greater metropolitan area. So like a couple of weeks ago, LA hosted Ciclavia, which was this huge closing down of Wilshire Boulevard where people could walk, bike, rollerblade, you know, spend the whole day kind of promenading along the street. And we wanted to let them know about this event. So that's a perfect thing to go on the blog.
Right, right. So what are some of the ways that you're already working to make West Hollywood a safer place to bike and walk? What are some of the things that you're doing right now for the folks who are living here right now that you want to continue and perhaps expand?
So right now, the city has actually, in the last year, done several things to improve safety. Just because we're not working on a plan doesn't mean that we're not trying to work on some improvements. Right. So there are new bike lanes on San Vicente that go from Santa Monica down to Beverly.
Okay.
And we've also installed sharrows, which are these little stencil markings on the roadway. And basically a sharrow is a share the road symbol. Okay. So it just tells drivers and bicyclists that this is a space where you both need to share and kind of bike nice, drive nice.
It reminds drivers, especially as they're zipping down the road, to go, oh, there might be someone on my right that's going to be pedaling right up next to me.
So it's really kind of an awareness symbol and helps bicyclists know that instead of trying to creep over to the edge of the curb and get stuck, that they can go into the middle of the lane and bike safely.
Right, right. And was it just a few months ago you held a great program to get people on two wheels or bikes or out of their cars. Bike to Work Day, was that a successful program?
Yeah, it was great. Every year Metro hosts this Bike to Work Day event, so all over LA people have bike hubs, and this year we decided instead of having a couple different hubs, let's have a big block party. So we partnered with local businesses and organizations, and we had basically this kind of party with music and food and giveaways, a raffle. We even had a bike tune-up station along Santa Monica Boulevard. And so we tried to create an event where people came through and got some food. Maybe they pumped up their tires and they could meet with the city, or they could talk to the West Hollywood Bike Coalition. AIDS Life Cycle came. We had donations from Bikes and Hikes, which is a local tour company, and I. Martin, which is a bike shop, and then Coffee Bean and Trader Joe's pitched in. So it was a great event.
Who really does it benefit to get more people out of their cars and on walking or biking?
I mean, it really benefits everyone. Obviously, it benefits the bicyclist who, you know, gets a little bit of a workout, gets to see the city at a kind of different scale and speed. But the more people that are not driving benefits, you know, everyone else on the road. It's less congestion on the streets, it's less air pollution, and kind of it creates just a culture of different ways of getting around. It creates options. I think when you see people biking and walking, we all start to think a little bit differently about our cities.
I imagine the shop owners get a little more business too. You're not, if you're walking your bike or riding past, you're more apt to pull in and buy something as opposed to just zipping by in your car trying to look for a parking spot.
Exactly. There's actually some preliminary studies that show that people on bikes, you know, spend more dollars locally because it's easy to pull up to the shop.
Sure, and you're saving money on gas, so you might as well put that money somewhere.
Exactly.
So to update your mobility plan, you do hold community workshops. You hope people will come. When is your next one?
So our next one will be in the fall. We've had a kickoff community workshop in June. Then we had a walking tour and a bike ride in July. And so kind of this fall, we're taking all of the ideas that have come from the tours and the workshops and the survey and the web and pulling them together and figuring out, well, what are the top priorities for the city? And so we'll have a workshop this fall that will show off the preliminary recommendations and then ask people, you know, is this what you would like to see? And get their feedback.
Well, Georgia Sheridan, thank you so much for joining me today on Trending. Appreciate having you here.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And speaking of mobility, right now we're going to head outside with our trending correspondent, Sommer Williams. She's going to talk to some folks who are extremely mobile.
Today on Trending, we're talking about the new Block by Block security ambassadors. And here to tell us a little bit more about the program is Operations Manager David Aguilera. David, thank you for talking to us. Tell me a little bit about the Block by Block company and what services you provide for the city.
Block by Block basically acts as a company that provides both hospitality, cleaning, and security. We act as both security and hospitality for the city of West Hollywood.
What is the interactions you have with the residents and visitors?
For the most part, I like to say that everything's been great. We've had a lot of positive feedback. Everybody loves the program.
I think it could help, yeah.
I like it. More security is safe, better for us.
It's good that there's somebody extra on a bike that makes it, you can go right up on the sidewalk and intervene if something's going on.
We work for everyone out here. We work for the businesses. We work for our residents. We work for our visitors. Everybody, the clubs, the restaurants, the gas stations, ATMs. We really do canvass the entire boulevard. We go into the residential neighborhoods. We patrol the residential neighborhoods. We really make it a point to look for visitors that appear to be lost. That's a great opportunity for us to shine. So we approach them. We ask them if there's anything specific that they're looking for. We direct them in the right path. And so that's we do a lot of that throughout the course of our days.
You can spot your local security ambassador on Santa Monica Boulevard between La Brea and Doheny. Reporting for Trending, I'm Sommer Williams.
And that's Trending for today. If you have a comment or would like more information, or if you have an idea for a trending topic, just leave a message at WehoTV on Facebook or Twitter. You can also email us. Just remember to put #trending in the subject line. We're going to get right back to you. I'm Tracy Savage. Thanks for watching.